have Dim Sun from the Gates. Just a few nuggets to come. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nightque on your Monday night. I can't believe it's Monday night. I want to say I'm so tempted to say it's Tuesday night, and it's actually not. But thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, I want to thank all of you, wherever you are, whether you're on Periscope or whether you are on Twitch, or if you're joining us here on the mainframe right now. I have just a few nuggets for you, and some of them you might find interesting. Some of them may not be. They may not be a surprise to you, but I thought I would bring them in on this Monday. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. It is not Monday, it's Tuesday. So I stand corrected again. It is Tuesday. So it is Nightque on our Tuesday. But before we get started, as always, we're going to do a word of thanks to our patrons. And I'll be right back in a minute. We're dealing with a bit of a lag, so hopefully you can hang in there with us as you guys always do. But yes, I do have a few nuggets for you on the Nightque, and it's not going to be. I didn't call it a test because I kind of wanted to be just wanted to be straight up, give you the straight up without the whipped cream on this one. So we are going to get into a few what I'm calling nuggets. We do have a story that to me, it purportedly, or it kind of gives some legitimacy to the idea that Bill Gates does have a desire to actually block the sun, and I'm going to give you some of the rundown on that. Hello, old head dudes. Thank you so much for joining us over on Twitch. I really appreciate that. And also, we're going to have a look at some of the most popular names in the Marxist, or the what I'm calling the revolutionary culture that we have going on these days. We're going to have a look at some of these civil rights fellowships that are actually funded by none other than, I'll tell you that if you stick around, you'll find out who these fellowships are actually funded by. And also, we've talked about the mocktail. We've talked about the mocktail adverse, uh, the mocktail adverse reaction reporting system. Actually, it's the mocktail adverse event reporting system. So I actually have some real samples for you on that. I have some demographics. I have, yeah, and it's all available for you. So I'm going to be sharing that with you. But before that, we'll go with some Twitch on a roll. and I'll be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much, Old Head Deuce, for coming in. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well over there on Twitch, and maybe you won't be over there too long by yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start out with a project supported by Bill Gates that's set to temporarily dim the sun. So we're gonna go with that one for starters. So thank you so much for tuning in on this segment. And before we do that, just a quick infomercial to remind you. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So never mind the lag there. We'll get it together one way or another. But however, I want to take us to our first story. And it's a story that I've wanted to get into for a while, but we're going to do so in just a second. So thank you so much. And hello to King Julian 40 for coming in. Same to you, King Julian 40. He says, God bless and thank you for your time. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting us. So you guys could please hit that like button and yeah, to help us feed the AI and yeah, help us out with the dissemination of the stream at this hour. So I really appreciate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our first story, and that involves none other than Gates himself. Now he just seems to stay in the loop. He stays in the cycle. I don't know. It's, you know, you know, some people say, you know, it must be nice. I don't know, to be able to throw your money behind, you know, humanity or to smokescreen humanity. Okay, so we're gonna go with that right now. I hope you guys are doing well out there, and I hope you can see this with all of the tremendous lag that we deal with around here. So what I'm gonna do is I will give you full scale on this so that you can see it wherever you are. All right. So it looks like yeah, this is coming from entrepreneur.com. A project supported by Bill Gates is set to temporarily dim the sun. And according to this, you have a tag that says a large balloon will be launched in Sweden and spew particles of calcium carbonate to dim the sunlight. Okay. All right. So this was published on the 24th. And according to this, remember the project where Bill Gates wanted to cover the sun to cool the earth? Well, this summer, the test will begin, according to the Times. A large balloon will soon be launched in Sweden that will spew out particles of calcium carbonate, which is essentially, quote, chalk dust, end quote. The controlled stratospheric perturbation experiment, SCOPX, wants to prove that the release of this dust into the stratosphere could eventually divert some of the sun's energy and lower the temperatures of our planet. All right, they give you a historical fact here. They said the balloon will be launched near the Arctic city of Kiruna and it would be the first serious attempt to test whether global warming can be kept under control by dimming the sunlight. The research is carried out by scientists at Harvard University and financed by private donors, including the founder of Microsoft, and has the purpose of achieving that the light of the sun is reflected outside the atmosphere of our planet. The SCOPEX is a scientific experiment to advance the understanding of stratospheric aerosols that could be relevant for solar geoengineering. End quote. The project page reads, how convenient geoengineering comes up at a time like this. Scientific opponents of this project believe that solar geoengineering could bring imperative risk and extreme changes in weather patterns that would be no different than recurring warming trends. On the other hand, environmentalists fear that, quote, a dramatic, end quote, change in mitigation strategy will become a, quote, green light, end quote, for greenhouse gases to continue to be emitted without any variation in current consumption patterns. According to the Times, some critics of the project argue that working on this type of, quote, geoengineering, end quote, could backfire by giving politicians an excuse to delay reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So there you have that. What I'll do just for good measure, I'll drop this in the stream for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and hope you have a strong stomach. Hello, Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you around here. And yes, I will be dropping this one into the stream for you right now. So thank you so much. So there you go. That is from the gates. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you are a voyeur and you're not sure whether you're coming in or not, I thank you as always, because I say, you do have choices out there, and I thank you for considering coming into Black Spring. I really appreciate it. I really do. All right, it's Awesome Alice. Hi, Awesome Alice. How are you? It's nice to see you. You always pop in and you make a statement without saying a word here. Thanks so much, Awesome Alice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to another nugget here. Okay, and the next nugget will be, we're going to look at just really quickly. I've talked about, dare I hypothesize about the past, or ignore the past, or ignore the signs of what's happening in our world now when it comes to the banner and the smoke screens of, in the name of equality or equity, or how dare I do that? So what I want to do is I've stumbled onto something that I found a little bit interesting. It's pertaining to somebody in the Black community. She goes by the name of Tamika D. Mallory. And it seems like even the Soros and his open society has managed to kind of leak into the Black community. So when you see these, we've talked about in the past, or we've seen, like the AOCs, the Rashida Tlaibs, the Ilhan Omars, the Ayanna Presleys. These people were recruited by many of these progressives and many of these globalist, or uh, one world, one world groups, support groups, or yeah, like the sunrise movement is where it was, the I think, the recruiting source for the squad, if you will. But who would have thought that Soros is a part of the, he's dabbling in the Black community, and he has a whole roster of all stars. It's not just one. He's got fellows and everything. I mean, who would have thought, But there again, Soros is a globalist, but I guess he's right up there with the progressives and the liberals and the white liberals. So I guess maybe he's basically, he's as bad, or he's probably worse. But let's have a look at that really quick, just really quickly, because I will say this, because Tamika D. Mallory, whether you're familiar with her or not, she's been She's been associated with the Women's March a few years ago. She's been associated. She's been on the front lines, marching around and making appearances at different award shows, and that she's being touted as some civil rights person. So I thought we might have a look and see what's going on with the Open Society .org and see who else is not on that list. So I will say recently, I think maybe she's been under the microscope because of, I think she's gotten a deal or something with Cadillac. There's some type of endorsement going on there, and she's heard all these outcries from the Black community, or people are saying, "Oh, she sold you guys out," and she's just using you guys. So, but it just seems like that never ends. The ambulance chaser types, the new wave of the sharp tongues, the female sharp tongues, and those to come. So let's just have a look at that really quickly. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. And before we do that, let's just have a really quick shout out to Texas, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. So we're going to keep going here we're going to go to the Open Society here and see what that's all about. Hope you guys are doing well out there in these times. So we are going to be I'll be sharing something with you here in just 1 second. Thank you guys so much. And I'll read a comment here from Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice says, "One world agenda, the communist agenda. How to know who they use. Identity politics, good old eugenics to make us think there is a superior race, but we just mere human beings." Thank you so much. Always insightful. Awesome, Alice. Thank you for that. All right, so let's have a look here. We'll look at the roster as well while we're looking at this. So yeah, we're going to go to the Soros Equality Fellowship from the Open Society Foundation. All right, so what we're going to do is, as you can see here, there's an entire roster, but our feature all-star is going to be, we're going to go with Miss Mallory here. So you can see you have a ton of so when you start to see these names, they kind of come out of nowhere. Have a look here. Have a look here. Check out the Sunrise Movement. It's just, they never stop working. So what we have here is our all-star featured right now is Tamika D. Mallory. And I guess the fellowship here, I guess it started, she had a fellowship in 2019. The term was 18 months, amount $100,000, location is Bronx, New York. So, she's been building the patina of hitching on to many, to philanthropists, if you will. That's nice. I'm putting that nicely. So according to this, Tamika D. Mallory will seek to build a framework and provide coaching to Black churches and institutions to strengthen their ability to use intersectional approaches in their social justice advocacy. Mallory, a nationally recognized activist, is a champion of the new civil rights movement. In 2017, she gained global recognition as one of four co chairs for the Women's March on Washington, with participation from 5 million people worldwide. Her role in the march landed Mallory on the 2017 Time magazine's 100 Pioneers list and Fortune magazine's 2017 list of world's greatest leaders. President of Mallory Consulting, a strategic planning firm, Mallory is featured in the media at the intersection of civil rights, social justice, and the new wave of feminism. All right, so this is Tamika Mallory. Now, I think she was on one of the last shows recently, and I think she's been accused of, for the lack of a better word, reprove me if you will, cloud chasing. I think there's some type of maybe even a sponsorship via Cadillac, and but she's also been the face of many of the I would say many of the Black Lives Matter interests, and so yeah, so you might check out this Open Society, see who else is on the roster. So uh, yeah, so what else? What would you do for Soros? Funding. What do you have to do to get recognized? So here again, we have we have a globalist sticking his nose and adding to the destabilization, or adding to adding to some of the scam, the backdoor deals that are being made. And yeah, so I guess this is kind of a booster. You get your booster right here, and then you keep going. So here they give you the eligibility and the guidelines, as well as past fellows and your current fellows. So this little stream here is showing 43. I'm not familiar with the NASA Troutman, but she looks like maybe this is the most recent fellow that they have listed here. But as you can see, this is a diverse, and it looks like mostly people of color, or what do they call them, POCs? What are they doing? What are they doing these days? That's what you see here mostly. But yeah, but the thing about it is the the intersectionality is a very perpetual position. It basically combines it. To me, it speaks to the BLM kind of objective, or mission, if you will. I'm not even sure if I can say that. We had a look at that when it was, when they were a bit in the spotlight. But the intersectionality encompasses, it's like spores. It touches feminism. Um it touches the black community. It basically, they basically create the point system for the new civil rights, and which, to me, it seems that the civil rights is actually being quite crushed, because it looks like, in order for one group to get civil rights, they have to crush all the other groups. So it's almost like civil rights are kind of gone. So when they say new civil rights, I have no idea what they're talking about. It sounds like a Trojan horse to me, in which uh, you will have no rights by the time it's over. When the word salad is over, nobody's rights you know, will be intact. And it actually looks kind of regressive to me, what actually happens when they start mixing these word salads up. And you know this group lives matters, and I'm sure Soros is probably going to you know add another group. So you know honestly, if it's really about equality, why does anybody have to lose anything? That's why I'm thinking it's more of a Trojan horse. Once you keep putting all these groups together, and then they start eating each other, because you know somebody always has to rise to the top, and somebody else has to go down. So, yeah, but check out the roster at your leisure. Check out the Sunrise Movement. I'm not going into the Sunrise Movement tonight because that's not the feature. But yeah, I mean, I kind of draw these people down to slightly ambulance chasers, and I think that it's about them kind of getting out there and getting a name for themselves, and then yet what gets done. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just wanted you to see that. So I put that link in the stream. I don't know, maybe you guys recognize some of these names or some of these faces, and you might. And that's why I'm saying don't count them out, because if you start to hear them, if you hear these names come up somewhere else down the line, at least where they kind of got their boost, right? Their little kickstart. They got their schmooze, the Soros schmooze. All right, I'm going to read a few comments here. All right, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And it's Tyrant's Bane TDOA. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. And Awesome Alice says, is it feeding change right to the city and the left roots? The three CPAs also collaborated in publications of the League for Revolutionary Struggle, a Marxist-Leninist organization that I War Kuhn created. BLM co-founders Garza and Patrice Coolers participated in a, quote, national call, end quote, with Seeding Change, a far-left group created by CPA San Francisco, in which CPA Boston also is a member. That's interesting. I'm not familiar with the Seeding Change. I'm not familiar with that call. Hi, DJ Vision Barnett. Thank you so much for coming in. And Awesome Alice says, to understand what's going on, we must look at the groups that actually fund these people. Yes. So it's, to me, it's just another, it's just a means to me of destabilizing, communities, especially, the Black community, because I can't see anything good coming from that. But you know, I guess people have to do they if you want a career, you gotta pay your dues, I guess. I guess it depends on who you want to pay them to. what what's your role going to be? So yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's one to watch for sure. Um, yeah, certainly one to watch. DJ Vision Barnett says special interest groups mean more than all the groups. Well, I think that's how we have like so much. There's so much going on right now because we have all these NGOs, and I think they put pressure on a lot of other on they're putting pressure on institutions, whether it be what level, the city, the civic, the county, the city, whatever it is. They kind of put the pressure on, and then the citizens just kind of sit back, and they don't really show up. They're not showing up to these city council meetings, but these NGOs and these groups and these civic society groups like this, and those who are recruited or funded by Mr. Soros, they end up they get their word out, they get the word out, they get their causes heard, and I think that's how it happens. So I don't know. I don't know what you can do other than maybe be more involved in your community, or at least know what's going on. I'm not sure. I think things are a little bit far gone, or as I have some friends who say, "Oh, these people are too far gone. It's a little bit too far gone." Because there's always action projects. I talk about that all the time. You go on to many of these NGOs or some of these activist sites, you'll always see the you'll always see their action projects out there. and you'll see what they'll even let you know which candidates they're backing to help push their uh, agendas forward. So, what can you take a page out of their book? I guess is where I'm is what I'm on about there. So we'll see. We'll see. It was just one to watch. Not too much. Not too much. So for what I'm going to call the nugget of the night, I found something that was a little bit disturbing earlier today. And we've talked about the mocktails, talked about mocktails a little bit on here, but the CDC, of course, we did have a story once before that talked about it's called VAERS, which is an acronym for and YouTube, do your thing. This is the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. And in that, I stumbled on to a report. But I want to read this to you first. I want to read the disclaimer because, of course, you got this VAERS data. It's accessible by downloading raw data in comma separated value CSV files for import into a database. I'm going to share that screen with you guys really quickly, and you can actually see some of these reports. What you have to do is you have to have an ID in order to have a look at these reports. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to throw a little caution to the wind right now, and I'm going to share with you what I found. And I want to thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. But let's go ahead and have a look. I'm going to have a look at one of these reports. And make sure I grab the right one here. But before I do that, I want to share the actual disclaimer with you. All right, so this is from the vaers.hhs.gov/data.html. All right, so here's your disclaimer here. VAERS accepts reports of adverse events and reactions that occur following mocktails. Healthcare providers, mocktail manufacturers, and the public can submit reports to the system while very important in monitoring mocktail safety. VAERS reports alone cannot be used to determine if a mocktail caused or contributed to an adverse event or illness. The reports may contain information that is incomplete, inaccurate, coincidental, or unverifiable. In large part, reports to VAERS are voluntary, which means they are subject to biases. This creates specific limitations on how the data can be used scientifically. Data from VAERS reports should always be interpreted with these limitations in mind. The strength of VAERS are that it is national in scope and can quickly provide an early warning of a safety problem with a mocktail. As part of CDC and the FDA's multi-system approach to post-licensure mocktail safety monitoring, VAERS is designed to rapidly detect unusual or unexpected patterns of adverse events, also known as, quote, safety signals, end quote. If a safety signal is found in VAERS, further studies can be done in safety systems such as the CDC's uh, the Mocktail Safety Data Link, VSD, or the Clinical Immunization Safety Assessment, CISA project. These systems do not have the same scientific limitations as VAERS and can better assess health risk and possible connections between adverse events and a mocktail. So here are your considerations here, and then I'll show you one key considerations and limitations of VAERS data. Mocktail providers are encouraged to report any clinically significant health problem following mocktails to VAERS, whether or not they believe the mocktail was the cause. Reports may include incomplete, inaccurate, coincidental, and unverified information. The number of reports alone cannot be interpreted or used to reach conclusions about the existence, severity, frequency, or rates of problems associated with mocktails. VAERS data is limited to mocktail adverse event reports received between 1990 and the most recent date for which data are available. And finally, VAERS data do not represent all safety information for a mocktail and should be interpreted in the context of other scientific information. So there's your huge disclaimer and your key considerations when we're looking at these reports, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some full screen here, and we are going to look at one of these reports. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share that screen with you here. Just one second. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As we actually have two, I'll show you how you can do this for yourself. All right. I'm going to give you some full screen here so you can get the full experience here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So what you're looking at, this comes from the CDC. You see the stats. All right. So what I want to do is I want to change that page. Sorry. All right, guys. I'm going to share with you the search. The actual search, I think, is what I want to do now. Okay. So if you go here, if you go to VAERS event details, you will see the event details report, and then you type in the ID. They tell you here you need 7 numbers, which will be followed by the number 1. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-1. Okay. All right. So with that said, I have a couple of ID numbers. I'm going to show you that screen right now. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. So I'm going to change screens and show you one of these reports. Now, they do give you quite a bit demographics. They give you quite a bit to draw on. So you guys can, have a look at this for yourselves. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. All right, so what we see right now is we have details for a VAERS ID. It gives you the patient's age. It gives you the sex of the person. It gives you the state. It gives you the date completed. Gives you the event categories. That's organized, death, life-threatening, permanent disability, congenital anomaly, birth defect, hospitalized, days in hospital, existing hospitalization, prolonged, emergency room, office visit, emergency room, office visit. So this is where you will find, if you have an ID number, you can find out some situations on patients who actually have taken this the moonshot, and yeah, and I'm going to put that link in the stream for you. Okay, and then also I'm going to show you another one that actually names one of the manufacturers, names a specific manufacturer. Are you guys okay out there? Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So this is one of your VAERS reports. So this is available to you on the CDC. This is not some covert thing that you need to go out and search, that you don't need to go in a back alley or something and find this information, because it's right there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another one that gives you some specifics. It gives you manufacturer information along with the same demographic stats as well. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I'm going to drop that. I'm actually going to put that link in the stream for you, so you can, if you have an ID number, or if you're looking for specific information, maybe about somebody in your family or somebody that has taken this and has actually, passed away, you might be able to find similar reports via the CDC site. So yeah, we're going to go to another one. Okay. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I think it's going to be a third. Okay. That's not the right one, but as you can see, we're going to get to the right one here. It's already here. I'm just clicking the wrong operator error here. Okay, so, all right, so here's, you have another one. You have a patient age 74. Sex is a female. Death, yes. This is a VAERS report. A state territory out of Michigan. Date reported February 28, 2021. Date mocktailed the 2/1/2021. The date the report was received on 2/28/2021. The date of onset is 2/6/2021. And the date of, unfortunately, expiration, you have that here. Days to onset is mentioned 5. The mocktail administered by a facility. Let's see what else. Talks about the event categories. As you can see right at the top here, you guys have enough full scale here. Let me zoom this in for you so you can see that. All right, so you can see this right now. Um, so yeah, this is the dark. This is what we're not hearing about, and yeah, the risk. We're not getting these kind of reports. So let me go in one more time. Okay, so what you can see also, they even tell you the mocktail type, they tell you the brand, they tell you the manufacturer rather than the brand. You know, we talked about Kovacs. You see, uh, the, um, you have the mocktail 19 right here. Manufacturer, yeah, top, the symptom was death. The event category is death, yes. Uh, so yeah, this was administered by maybe a nursing home, perhaps. And this was the patient was 74, and someone filed this report. So I'm going to drop this into the into, you know, just like I said, you need to have an ID in order to do that, in order to see it. But there's a ton of them. I can't even. It's a rolling. It's like a literally a rolling. Yeah, it's a rolling log, and there's very specific things. It talks about this very specific on the symptoms of what was happening. It gives you very specific information about. It gives you very specific information on that. So you know, you like plug that, and yes, it's, you know, it's tough. It's tough to see that. It's not tough to see it, but yeah, that's what's going on. It's, you know, people are lining up for this like it's the hot new, you know, it's the hottest new thing. And you know, we've had this conversation before. And that's not me making light of it. This is me stumbling on to what's out there. It's not just available to me, it's available. But yeah, there was yeah, there's more. There's, you can just literally just kind of, there's one where you can just go page after page after page after page after page, click on ID after ID after ID after ID. You know, various symptoms, various it tells you all, it tells you the manufacturer, which one they took. So yeah, it's a little edification for you, maybe. That's, you know, that's the way I can describe that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I did put that out there in the stream. So we'll see if the powers that be, you know, if they're going to reprove me or get on to me. But yeah, so that was one of the most disturbing things that I stumbled onto today. But you have to have that ID. You have to have that report ID in order to dig around, or in order to, you know, glean information for yourself. So that's what that's about. And I had one other I don't know, it seems like I had a bit of another, I guess, notion. And it was kind of related to, you know, there's been this buzz about that Lil Nas X, the rapper. But it wouldn't just be the first time that I think we've seen designers use the pentagram, because I think maybe we talked about before, I don't know if it was on this show, that the pentagram was in the Dims in their design for their convention this year. And you know, of course, it was, oh, they needed a new ID, and you know, it was, you know, a lot of emphasis on ID these days, and what kind of country do we want to be. And so I found some things that I thought that kind of stood out on that. So let me pull this down. So, but before I make any more comment on that, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a break here. And thank you guys so much. And I'm gonna do a couple of infomercials. Oh my gosh, old head deuce. Are you kidding me? Well, I actually saw somebody that was scrolling through Awesome Alice. I saw somebody that was scrolling through, and that's how I was able to get that one going. Yeah, that was because he was going like super fast, and I was like, my gosh, how can I still didn't get to see what I really wanted to see because I really wanted to see um, how he was able to show the entire roster was. This thing is several pages long. If I can ever access that, I will certainly show it to you. Um, but hang on just one second. Just one second. So we're going to do a little bit of a infomercial, a couple of infomercials, and I'll be right back. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And also, tomorrow is the last day, so I had to bring this up, and I've been talking about it for a long time. But if you are over on Periscope, tomorrow I think is the last day. So if you haven't found an alternative home for your content creators or people that you like to follow for on Periscope, then I think tomorrow is your last day. At least tomorrow is your very, very last day. So that's why we've had all these campaigns. Not just that's not the sole reason that we had campaigns, but wanted to facilitate or give you an option, a secondary, or another way to get here if you don't want to come over to YouTube. So and so with that said, I'll give you one more infomercial on that regard, and we'll be right back. guys. And as always, I thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And the rapper is here, and he says, "Heard about the man whose skin peeled off from the mocktail? No, that's news to me." The rapper, do you have a site for that? Do you have a resource for that? I have I haven't heard that, but there is, you can find information over on. We were just over on the CDC. Um, yeah, but we were looking at a couple of deaths that we saw, and I don't have enough information right now to kind of scroll that whole rolling that the database the way I want to. But you can. I did put that link in the stream for you, so if you've got a way of if you're savvy enough to get in there, or if you know anybody that's done their own report, their own VAERS report. And I think there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but yeah, I kind of coattailed somebody else is how I kind of got where I got. But I haven't heard about that. That's very disgusting and sad. So I don't know. Thank you. If you have any more on that, let us know. We appreciate it. Okay, so I think that's kind of the bulk of what I was on about. Um, yeah, it was the bulk of what I was on about. And who was? Oh gosh, that face. Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice has got a face for us. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at the. I'm not laughing at the symptoms or whatever. It's just your guys' reaction makes me. I need a double take. Make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing, I guess, before I laugh. So Awesome Alice says it probably is an effect of the PEG. Oh my God, you did. I have heard about that. I've heard about that via Derek C. Williams, and you, Awesome Alice, you talked about that already. What is it, like a polyethanol something? Polyethanol gly something? I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty toxic, right? I'm sure it is. But what I'll do is I'll go through here and say hello to everybody. Uh, I dosing 48. I'm not. Thanks so much for coming in. If this is your first time here, thanks for tuning in. If you guys haven't had a chance to hit that like button, you will have an opportunity to do that before we close. Before we close out the stream, you will have an opportunity to do that. So if you haven't done it, you can take advantage right now. You can do it. You still have time. Um, So yeah, Old Head Deuce, hello, and Old Head Deuce is over. Who's over on Twitch right now? There's somebody over there. I really have to get the business up over there. It's yeah, we're growing, but thanks so much, Old Head Deuce, for going over there. I appreciate it. And King Julian 40, thank you so much for coming in. And Chrysler Imperial H, he was here. Hope you're doing well, Chrysler. If you're still around out there, thank you so much for coming in and supporting the channel and being a stripe. Thank you, being a can I dare I say being one of our seasoned stripes. I won't say senior stripe because I don't want to put the connotation out there that I'm aging you or any of that. Um, Out and Old Head had some comments and I missed them. Old Head said, "Dimming the sun kills plants. Period. That's mad science." I don't know how that's legal for somebody that's it's been a computer person. I don't I But there again, we've talked about the elite. They want to be known for things that they're not that are out of their domain of competence. Which we talked about that before around here. I think we have. And there's no chance he would parent or another software company or anything. He's got to start messing around with the sun. Yeah. So who knows what that's going to do? Because let me throw the race card in there for a second. People of, for one, I know Black people are told that we are vitamin D deficient. So, what do you think that's going to do to people that might be vitamin D deficient? I guess you'll just have to continue to take artificial vitamin D. You have to up your vitamin D because he's going to make sure that you are even more deficient. I mean, that's crimes against humanity. I mean, honestly, I can't really dress it up. I can't. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And who else do I have? And then I want to say hello to Tyrant's Bane TDOA. Thank you so much, TDOA, for coming in and for all that you do to support the channel around here. And it's kind of coming up on an anniversary that we've had such great support and such consistent support from many of you. And we've got great content creators. We've got great support and and great people stimulating our chat. So I really appreciate that in the Black Spring community. And I did say I was going to be I'm going to be updating the look around here. And yeah, even the studio is going to change before the end of the year, but you'll start to see some things rolling out. So yeah, thanks so much. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Awesome, Alice. Thank you. And DJ Vision Barnett, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And you've been around for some time. I mean, I will tell you honestly that my idea when I first started with the YouTube was it was networking. I thought, okay, what a great way to network. It's not it was a new way to network for me. Um, yeah, but I yeah. Sometimes you get some surprises in there, some pleasant surprises, and then I really do appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for hanging around. I guess that's what I'm trying to say that. Thanks for hanging around. And is it I dosing 48? Okay, I dosing 48 wants to know, why am I calling the mocktail a mocktail? Well, if you hang around, you'll find out. I mean, you might check us out. Check out the community tab. It seems like you're new around here, and we welcome you. And just for best experience and best practices, I usually have everybody, that's new, check out the community tab, check out the standards, and see if it's a place you want to be, because you are over here from Periscope, and I don't know, this could be your first time, and then you won't be able to pick us up anymore. So thanks so much, iDosing 48, for coming in. And let me read Awesome Alice's comment. I missed this one. She says, something has an eerie parallel to our current moment, and by crushing of China's student movement of the Tiananmen Square in 1989, which FRSO calls a counter revolution. Um, that's very interesting. I'm not see. Awesome Alice is always Awesome Alice. Tell us about your book list. I bet you have a great book list, a great reading list that we could all benefit from. What is it? Was it Color of Communism? That book, I have to get it. It's like I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that particular book. And what else do we have? Old Head Deuce says, I play the wackest hip hop on my show. LOL. Is that I don't know if it's hip hop, Old Head Deuce. I don't know. It's not quite hip hop, but nothing gets by you. Okay. And Old Head Deuce says Vax rap. You well, it was kind of a rap sheet, that we were just looking at. But when you talked about, when you said HHPH, that what we were looking at out of the New York based HHPH. Now that was the rap. That was a whack rap. But that was a rap sheet. So we're getting wrapped up around here. And the rapper, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep an eye on that skin situation. Okay, and Awesome Alice talks about the PEG uh, component, and she says, yeah, the chemical is causing reactions, and she says it's used in antifreeze. Holy smokes! And Awesome Alice says, my son's teacher is still out of school since. No way! Oh, that's incredible. And hi, eat shorts. Eat shorts. Thank you so much for tuning in. And but looks like this is your first time around here. This is you don't want to know where I'm from, and that's going to change very soon. So you you don't want to know the answer to that. You really don't want to know. But yeah, somebody in the chat might tell you. Somebody in the chat will tell you, but you don't want to know that story. You really don't. Let's just say it's on the west. It's probably as far west as you can go. As far west as the eye can see until you go into the ocean. Okay, so for the moment. And Awesome Alice says her father got the mocktail, and now you had. Oh my gosh! You know what? That's a that seems to be a common symptom of that. And if you guys are able to get onto that VAERS report, if you could get onto the, I don't know what the page is called, but they're just boom, 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 boom. You at that point you're not literally plugging in. You just have access to all the reports are right there at your fingertips all at once. I don't know how to tap into that one. I don't. But thank you for sharing that. That's pretty bad. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys for coming in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And it was 11th hour, but it's a night cue. And we'll do some night cues. It'll either be Moonlight Stream or Night Cue. Um, that's what we'll call it. That's what we'll deal in night cues. And I really appreciate it. And there was one other thing that I want to show. Let me see if I have it. Let me see if I have it in my, that I can access it really quickly. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and say so long. It's Joseph Francis Burton. How are you? He says, my wife is getting her booster. Oh my gosh. And he said, I have not had anything yet. Nice to see you, Joseph Francis Burton. Thanks so much for coming in and hang in there. I hope, yeah. Awesome Alice says, my friend in London said it causes blood clots. That's probably why. And Joseph Francis Burton says, we have both sworn off any passport. So stressful, it's so stressful. It's just, I mean, it's what can I say? It's very stressful time. And I who would have thought? But we saw some of this coming. I think we anticipated some level of tyranny, and here it is. Um, it's like, what happened to the HIPAA laws? It's you can't have voter ID. You can't have any of that, but you need this. You need these things. So yeah, but I appreciate you guys for sharing your personal, you know, yeah, I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is there's one other, it was involving Ted Cruz. And if I can show that one, then I'll think that will call this one a day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And let me see what I have here. Actually, you know what? I think that was, they actually have that on. Okay. We're going to go over to, I think we're going to go to Gateway Pundit. I think I had Gateway Pundit. I'm going to read your comment here in just a second here. I told you, I think that's one of my duties is to read the comments. You guys have great comments. So yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard by now that there were I guess these congressmen and women who appeared at the border. But I'm going to show you a video. They might get a little tizzy, might get a little upset with me here. But I'm not here to be, uh, you know, not here to make them happy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share this liner with you. And of course, you guys have heard about SD and the convention center and the teachers going down to teach. I think what is it, English and something socio emotional, direct social emotional stuff to these migrants. Schools aren't even open here fully, but that's your that's the leadership. Uh, However, I hope you guys can see what I'm sharing with you right now. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. Okay. Alrighty. So what you see before you is, it looks like it talks about Senator Cruz's experience, or amongst others, I guess. But he's given a direct here. This is a wow, caught on video. This is a Biden operative tries to block Senator Ted Cruz from filming the kids situation. So I'm going to play this for you. Last week, several Republican senators visited the U.S. southern border on the Rio Grande in Texas to witness the massive surge in illegal and refugees flooding across the U.S. border. All right. Let me see if I can get this to play. All right. So according to this, when Senator Cruz began filming the unimaginable and depraved conditions, a Biden operative jumped up to harass and attempt to block the senator's camera. This is the Biden administration. Why would they want to hide the truth from the American people? So let me play this. Looks like there's quite a few, but we'll go with this one first. I don't know if this one has any, audio. So let's see if we can go with this one. All right, guys, thanks so much.
Please respect. Please give dignity to the people. Please give dignity to the people.
So you work for the commissioner, your senior advisor. You were hired 2 weeks ago, and you're instructed to ask us to not have any pictures taken here.
Please respect the people.
Because the political leadership at DHS does not want the American people to know it.
Please respect the rules,
You keep standing in front of the pictures, so you don't want the pictures taken. The rules are arbitrary, and they're designed to keep the American people in the dark.
Dignity and respect. That's all we ask.
Well,
dignity
no, it's
and
not.
Respect.
You're asking, is this dignity and respect? Look at these people. There's a
dignity and
pandemic.
Respect to the people.
Let me ask you. There's a pandemic.
I respectfully ask you, sir.
There is a pandemic. Is this respecting the rights of these kids?
I ask you. Please
Are you respecting the rights of these kids?
This is not a zoo, sir. Please don't treat the people.
You're right, and this is a dangerous place.
Please don't treat the people.
And your
like
policies,
this.
unfortunately, are trying to hide them. I understand you were instructed when 18 senators came down here.
Please respect the people. Give them dignity and respect.
I respect them, and I want to fix this situation.
We all want to fix
this, the administration you're working for is responsible for these conditions.
Please respect the people with dignity and respect.
And I ask you to respect the people as well.
I am respecting you. I am respecting the people.
This is not respect.
Okay. So, as you can see, that was an interaction there, and I noticed that she just kept looping the same things over and over again. Make sure you stay on script, right? You stay on script, and yeah, that's it's very sad, and And see, to me, this is the kind of thing that journalists used to do. They would even go undercover to get, well, at least Hollywood taught us that journalists may go undercover to get a story or risk their lives to get a story. And it kind of puts crews in that light, yeah, it's yeah. But we've talked about this before. Unfortunately, children are the agents of change, and that's been quoted by the UN. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm thinking I'm pretty right on with that. You guys remember uh, Greta Thunberg, Joan of Arc, Time Magazine. You guys, of course, you know they're also the agent of change when it comes to transgenderism. What's it? D Wade's daughter now, and the Holio Coalition. I'm just trying to think what else. What else are they going to put? What other smoke screens are they going to use? It's not going to stop. It's not. Am I a heartless person that says, "Oh no, you should just treat people anyway"? Well, you have to get to the truth and the heart of the matter, and then you can start to fix things. But I think we all know that this is not just. I think we can all realize that this is in this way. This is a campaign. It feels like a campaign. I think I told you guys once before that it felt like we're already looping back into a campaign on some level for 2022 primaries. No midterms. It looks like we're already being looped back into. So unfortunately, these kids are being, their innocence, their misfortunes, their plights are being exploited, and who knows what they went through, or who knows what they're going through. And there's a lot of grassroots people that's actually gone down there, and even they're having a tough time. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn on the Night Queue. I really appreciate it. If you are new here, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to read some comments. Then I'm going to say salute to everybody, and then we're going to get out of here. And okay, we have Joseph Francis Burton says, I am at the Texas-Mexico border in El Paso. A lot of Dem reps came here to blame everything on the previous orange guy. No tours of the facility on Fort Bliss. Yep, that sounds about right. That's it. Yeah, they don't want any no press. No press. Do you guys see how everything is to me is looking like state sponsored and state, if you have to be a tool of the state. But there's that's not free press then, right? That's not even free press. That's not. I mean, Awesome Alice says, if they have a passport, I am screwed because I have too many allergies to take jab. My doctor already said due to my allergies, don't. Awesome Alice, I'm picking up what you're putting down. 120%. 100%. I'm picking up what you're putting down, without a doubt. And I think that's a situation I think that's, yeah, it's horrible. Um, the rapper says that woman on the video is annoying. Yes, because she's looping. She used to say the same. She's staying on script. She's staying on script. Yeah, you got to make it. You got to make him appear that he's the one that's taking. You got to project what you're doing onto the person that's questioning what you're doing. Yeah, see, trained by the best, right? They always train the POCs to do the dirty work. That's a common denominator to me. From my point of view. And also Mal says the woman head is huge in this video. Reminds me of a child, no mom. I did clean my room. And the rapper says, she sounds like ABL in AOC's voice. Sir, sir, sir. Okay. Okay. All right, rapper. I appreciate that. Only the rapper. Joseph Francis Burton says, I have volunteered at these border facilities. I have never seen anything like this horror show. I'm tracking. And the rapper says how many would punch her in the face for blocking him. Okay, and Awesome Alice says she made this even worse because she's blocking the view. Ay. And Gary Gage says, Gary Gage, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. He says, yes, it's a sad situation. And Awesome Alice says, why they're using foil? Are they making burritos out of them? Where's the stories after they leave? I don't know, Awesome Alice. That sounds really bad. That's even worse. It's even worse to think about it. But then they're just packed in there, like just tight. Like yeah, there's no space. And it can't be a healthy situation with a pandemic going on, right? Can you imagine? All right, and Awesome Alice always gives us something to think about. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. And for our final infomercial. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much once again for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I also want to say to my friends that are listening down in Texas via podcast, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I wish you guys the best. I know I appreciate you guys for listening on Black Spring and Pocket Cast and Breaker and Spotify and Anchor and wherever you're picking us up from. You are appreciated around here. Thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. I'm going to do one thanks. This is the last thanks. And then I'm going to say salute and good night and good morning. All right, so I'm just observing a conversation between Joseph Francis Burton and Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice, this is from Joseph Francis Burton. He says foil blankets are to mitigate the CV. And Awesome Alice says, so those are safety blankets. And Joseph Francis Burton says lots of research shows that wool and classic blankets shed viral particles. Very interesting. Yeah, you guys we have only the best in our chat. Only the best. All right, guys. I'm going to be saying so long and good night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys for from all over. And have a great rest of your Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. And of course, as always, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream, in the comment section, on a video, on a moonlight stream, or even on the Nightques or on a test. You guys have a good night.